Today, we're jumping into Gemini, how to use it for your business, why I think it might be the best LLM system for your business. We're going to jump straight into real business cases. Let's get at it. All right, here we are in Gemini. And what we're going to do today, we're going to look at the 3 different ways of using Gemini. So with Fast, Thinking, and Pro. This is Gemini 3. And I think this is an important point, using the right level of AI for the task that you want. So we're going to use Fast, Thinking, and Pro and compare the 3. We're going to use some tools, etc. We're going to show off the real strengths of Google's Gemini. I think it's a really powerful tool you can embed today into your work life. Let's get on with it. Okay, so we're going to use the Fast rating here. So answers quickly. So Gemini 3 Fast. And I've built a prompt, and this prompt is to build me, to act as an operations director and build me a plan, including budget, etc., for a 3-day retreat for my senior team. So you are my operations lead for a 3-day corporate retreat for 24 managers in the UK, a mix of in-person workshops and light outdoor activity. Budget target is £18,000 all in. Goals, alignment, practical AI adoption, and leadership skills. And the venue needs to be within 200 kilometers of Birmingham. Dietary needs are unknown and dates are flexible in March. Ask me the 8 most important missing questions, but only 8. Make sensible assumptions for anything else. Produce a complete draft retreat plan I can edit. And then the format I want is to return in this structure: 8 questions, assumptions, 3-day agenda and a budget table, a risk register, and an email draft invite for the staff. And this is a really good format to work in. So you've got your context here, you've got your task here, and then you've got the format of the outcomes that you want here. And I think, as we've seen with both ChatGPT 5.2, with Gemini 3, with Claude Opus, that the ability to be able to give a prompt in that gives multiple tasks in the right order and clarity of those tasks will mean that you get the outcome that you want. Let's start this going. It's in Fast, so I would expect something relatively quick. Here we go. And we get a response very quickly. Hello, I'm ready to get to work as your operations lead. My focus is on delivering high impact, seamless experience. March in the UK can be unpredictable. Think 4 seasons in 1 hour. So I've designed this to be resilient to weather while meeting your £750 per head budget. Transport strategy. Do you want a central coach? So these are the questions I need to answer. The AI maturity. Are we teaching what is ChatGPT or how to build custom GTP agents and workflows? Are we at the basic or the advanced? So I need to think about that. Facilitation. Do we have internal experts or do we want to get people from outside? What about the venue? What vibe do we want? Tech requirements. Does every manager have a company laptop, or will we need to bring some high spec? Will we need to make sure there's high spec Wi-Fi, etc. for the prompting workshops? Should the outdoor intensity be light or be accessible? Be accessible, or should we go for something a bit more extreme, like low ropes, high ropes, team challenges, etc. Evening culture. Is the group early to bed, or do they expect to be hosted in the bar late at night in a socializing space? And output expectations. What is the goal? Is the goal a written AI strategy roadmap by day 3, or is the retreat purely for inspiration and soft skills building? Those are really useful questions to help me think about putting together this retreat. And it's made some assumptions. So location will target either Cotswolds or Peak District. Accommodation, single occupancy room for all 24 managers to ensure rest and privacy. Catering, provide full board breakfast, lunch, dinner, and allow for 20% buffer for complex dietary requirements. AI tools. Managers will be using existing corporate accounts, laptops, no hardware rental required. Facilitation, a mix of internal leads and 1 external AI for business specialist. And then here we go. We've got a 3-day agenda, understanding the goals, networking, identify leadership gaps, mental reset, psychological safety and bonding. It's a welcome dinner. AI landscape. So this is day 2. Prompt engineering for leads, operation workflows, some team task, casual barbecue, feedback, personal leadership pledges, farewell lunch and depart. And here we have a budget with a sort of low, likely and high, 18, the budget that I gave it being the likely outcome. I can put into sheets, and a risk register, poor Wi-Fi, inclement weather, AI content too technical, dietary issues. And then a very nice email. I'm excited to announce our upcoming management retreat taking place from whatever. As we navigate a rapidly changing landscape, this 3-day session is designed to sharpen our leadership skills. Talks about preparation, travel, light outdoor activities and team dinners to reconnect away from our screens. No heavy lifting required yet, but please ensure the company laptops are updated. Please RSVP by a date. Let's build the future of our operations together. Best regards. Name. Would you like me to research 3 specific venues in the Cotswolds that fit the £9,500 price point? So there we can see a quite complex job, multiple outputs, multiple bits of information need working with, and it's produced me the draft plan, the email, some questions to think through, etc. Really good. And of course, if we were taking this forward, we would then go back in, answer the questions, redraft the budget, the agenda, etc., and iterate multiple times so that we got something that we're really happy with at the end. And I think that's one of the really key ways of using AI to work with it. Let AI start the program for you, but then work with it to get the output that you need by the end. And remember, with all of this is a program for humans. Humans need to be in the loop. You're responsible for what goes on. So make sure that you're engaging with your AI. Don't just set it off to do something, walk away, and then use that in the real world. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this time we're going to use thinking mode, and I have, so I'll put it into thinking mode here, and I'm going to compare the economic impacts of remote working on urban centres versus rural areas. Use thinking mode, identify at least three conflicting findings, explain why they conflict, give a balanced conclusion on what I should watch in 2026. I want the key findings in bullets, conflict table, practical takeaways for UK businesses. And let's set that going. Now, this will take a little bit more time, although I find Gemini pretty quick. We'll see when we start doing the deep research that it can take longer, but generally, even in thinking mode, and I would probably use thinking mode most of the time for the things I'm doing, I still find it relatively quick. So here we go. We've got you can look at your thinking. So now in deep into the research, it's a vast landscape, but I'm making headway, assessing data relevance, uncovering contradictions. So this is what it did. And I find that really helpful. And then you get the answer here. Shift to remote and hybrid work has evolved from the pandemic era necessity into a structural feature of the global economy. In 2024 and 2025, the data suggests that while the death of the city was premature, the revival of the rural is proving more complex than initially predicted. And then it goes through the donut effect. That's where the centre of towns are being quieter and the sort of outer suburbs are busier. And that creates some issues for infrastructure, etc. Rural gentrification versus economic growth. So remote work has brought high earning professionals to rural areas where they don't need to be near to the city anymore, which drives up housing prices. That creates some issues with the local workforce. And then the hybrid anchor, most highly skilled remote work in 2025 is actually hybrid. This anchors workers within 60 to 90 minutes of major hubs like London or Manchester. Infrastructure is a gatekeeper. Rural areas with full fibre broadband are seeing a 2 to 3x the Zoom town growth compared to those with legacy connectivity. So those areas with good Wi-Fi, good connectivity are growing much more quickly than those with very basic legacy connectivity. And then it's given me a table. So it talks about the study, the conflicting findings, why they differ, implications, practical takeaways, 90-minute rule. The 90-minute rule quite important with remote talent. So if you're recruiting remote talent but want them to work in a hybrid way, then 90-minute rule makes sense. Support the local hub instead of just paying for home Wi-Fi. So consider subsidizing memberships to rural co-working spaces. This keeps workers connected. Mitigate the proximity bias. So with the 2025 trend of return to office mandates, ensure rural, fully remote staff are overlooked for promotions. Use a digital first meeting culture, even when half the team is in the office. Audit digital infrastructure and watch the hushed hybrid trend. Many employees are moving to rural areas based on informal agreements with managers that contradict official company policy. In 2026, these informal moves will face legal and HR tests as company tighten attendance tracking. So staff agreeing with managers, I only need to be in the office once or twice a month, say, so I might go and live in France. And that might not fit with your corporate plan to get more people in the office more regularly, but they've made an agreement with their manager. That can create difficulties for the businesses. So conclusion, what to watch in 2026, AI-driven monitoring, whether to use AI tools for remote productivity tracking, the right to request. So are we going to see a right for people? So obviously there is now a right to request flexible working. Is this going to move into people having the right to work remotely and push against forced office returns? And then is transport infrastructure going to be able to stay up to date with the requirements of people working outside of main city areas? Really good, really useful report. And you can see that it's done quite a lot of thinking around this report. It's given me the response back in exactly what I asked for in terms of the format brief that I gave it. And that's really important, giving clear instructions to these new, more advanced, capable LLMs that are able to do multiple tasks. I think we will see the advancement of us being needing to give much clearer and more detailed prompts if we want to get the output that we want the first time. All right, let's move on. Okay, so for this one, we're going to use deep research. So I've left it in thinking here. So Pro model really is particularly useful for maths code, but I'm leaving it in thinking. But on the tools, I'm going to put in deep research. And the really helpful thing is with deep research, you can now add sources in. You can add obviously files or sources that you specifically want. But here is the task that I've given it. So the topic is the current state of solid state battery technology as of 2024, 2025. I want a 2,000 word report written for senior business leaders, plain English, no hype. Include a table comparing the top 5 startups, HQ country, core approach, latest disclosed funding round, etc. Include major technical bottlenecks. Add short what this means for the corporate procurement in 2026. Process constraints, use web sources and show citation sources. Flag any claims that look marketing led. If the figure is disputed, present both sides. I want an executive summary, 150 to 200 words, a main report with headings, startup comparison table, and open questions listed as 8 bullets. Okay, so quite complex. I've asked it to use deep research. Let's see what happens. So obviously it's already taken longer than the previous 2 prompts. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come back when it's done I'll let you know how long it took, and we'll see what the output looks like. Okay, so the first thing it does is it took about 30 seconds. It's come up with a research plan. Really cool. So solid state battery technology report, researching websites. It's identified those. There's more. These are the places it's going to research. It's going to analyze results, create a report, and it'll be ready in a few minutes. Do I want to edit this plan, or do I want to start the research? Let's start the research. And it's moved into this sort of canvas mode. Very cool. So here we go. It's doing the research. You can go away and then come back when the research is done, or you can look at the research going on. I do love this. So here is the research, the thinking, looking at all the websites that it's looking at. I really enjoy this. I think it gives you a better insight into the work that it's doing. Okay, and here we have our solid state battery technology report. And how cool is that? So it has its contents up here, so you can go through and go through the document in a really effective way. You can share and export it. You can create something based on it. So you could create an infographic, quiz, flashcards, audio overview. These are using tools that are based out of NotebookLM. Really very, very cool. Or you can describe an app and it will create an app. How cool is that? So let's just have a look at this document: executive intelligence summary, engineering reality, physics, chemistry and manufacturing, sulfide-based electrolytes, oxide-based electrolytes, polymer and semi-solid hybrid systems, anode revolution, lithium metal anodes, silicon-rich anodes, competitive landscape, startup ecosystem, quantum scape, factorial energy, solid power, Prologicum technology based in Taiwan, SES AI, comparative analysis of the 5 companies, 4 in the US, 1 in Taiwan, core technologies that they use, geopolitical and incumbent landscape, Chinese juggernaut, Japan and South Korea, European localization and sovereignty, major technical bottlenecks. Just how good is that as a report? And there's all the different websites that sources used in the report, the final verdict. Really cool. Really cool. Let's have a go at creating an infographic from this information. It's a bit cool, won't it? So this is using the technology that sits within NotebookLM. Great. And one of the things you can now do with Gemini is you can add in your own notebooks as sources. And as I've said multiple times, NotebookLM is one of the best to do research, and the ability to create these infographics is relatively new. Let's see what we get. We've got our report. Okay, so it's done its work and it has produced me. Now I've got the report. I can also see a summary of the report, just the executive summary. And then we have an infographic. Solid state battery technology, the state of the industry report in 2024-25. Executive brief, current status, mass market, procurement action weight, energy density comparison. So the 4 different energy densities, sliding timeline, competitive landscape, top 5 players. Major technical bottlenecks, dendrites, interface contact, manufacturability, cost projections. SSBs will start at a premium product before reaching parity. So this is the cost that they'll go to. So solid state costs versus lithium ion costs. And a procurement strategy. Very, very, very cool. And you can click between all of these things. very simply. Very, very good. Okay, so before we move on, let's look at what you can do with instructions for Gemini. So you can add in instructions. So these are the kind of things that you've seen in my ChatGPT, where I give it general instructions about how I want it to respond, whether I want it to always give challenge, etc., not to use certain words, although Gemini is pretty good at not looking very AI creators. If you go to my website, theprofessor.info, you can download my custom instructions that I use for ChatGPT, and you can have a look at how I've structured them, create them, and make them for Gemini as well. You can add productivity apps. So I've got GitHub there, and of course Google Workspace. So it's got access to my Gmail, Google Docs, Google Keep, Google Calendar, Google Drive, Google Tasks. Is fantastic. So you can use Gemini directly with all of these different tools. Really, really useful. You can schedule actions in the same way as you can with ChatGPT. Create actions that happen all the time. You can create your own schedule action managers. So, for instance, you can say, I would like you to give me a rundown of the latest AI news at 7 o'clock every morning to my Gmail, that sort of thing. Really useful. So if you've got things you want Gemini to do every day, you can create a schedule for that. You can also look here. So if you have, one of the things you can do is create websites directly from Gemini. We went back to the previous example on solid state batteries. We could have created that into a website, and here I would have the link, and you could just click on the link and have access to it. There we go. That website's still there. Really cool. You can change your theme. You can have a system, light, dark. I've got it in dark. You can upgrade to Google AI Ultra. That's about £200 a month and gives you access to more pro activity, more deep research, etc., more image generations with Nano Banana, more video generations with VO. I don't use it enough to be able to do that, but probably not far away from doing that. And then NotebookLM, I've done loads of videos on NotebookLM. I'll link one down below. If you're interested in NotebookLM, go and have a look at that. Really, really good, especially for research. If you're doing research into something, I think NotebookLM is probably the most powerful tool for research. Okay, so in this prompt, I have put a series of documents in there to demonstrate how Gemini will work with going into Docs and going into Gmail, etc. So here I've got a prompt: summarize the document in 5 bullets, identify missing info needed to finalize the 3-day retreat plan. Going back to the retreat plan, using the file retreat budget PDF, tell me if the total exceeds 18,000 and list the 3 largest cost drivers. Using the Gmail thread, and I put it here, but you could just go into your Gmail, extract deadlines and the owner's names if present. And then I want summary in 5 bullets, missing info, budget check, and deadlines table. I've left it in thinking, which is where I generally leave it. It's got the documents there. Let's see what we get. And this is a really powerful way. If you move to a Gemini Google Workplace based system and engage with Gemini and set it up correctly, I think this is a really powerful tool. Now, my organization hasn't done that, and we work with Microsoft, so it can be a bit more clunky at home. For the professor, I'm Google throughout, so I can do it. So it works very nicely at home, but in the office we haven't got there yet. But I think it would be a really interesting cost benefit analysis to move into the Google Metasphere as opposed to the Microsoft one, especially given the power of Gemini to interact with those different parts of that Google Office environment. Okay, so project objectives. The retreat aims to align 24 managers. 3-day event is planned. It's got links here to the various documents. Facilitation, missing information. We haven't identified a final date yet. The venue choice hasn't been picked out. Dietary and accessibility needs are not absolutely clear yet. Formal dinner decision. Paul needs to confirm if formal dinner should be scheduled for the second night. Pre-retreat survey. We haven't created that yet. And facilitator identities. So it's identified from the documents what's still missing. Budget check, likely total 17,000, does not exceed the 18,000 budget. However, the high estimate total of 22,000 does. And these are the things that are particularly expensive. So accommodation, facilitator fees, and catering. These are the largest cost drivers. And then deadlines table. We need to get the deadlines sorted out. And then, would you like me to draft the pre-retreat survey mentioned in the email thread? Fantastic. So using Gemini with your tools, especially if you've got those tools embedded, I think enormously powerful. Let's move on. Gemini doesn't just work with text, it will also work with images. So here I have uploaded a sketch of a hero page for the professor, and I want it to give me analyze the uploaded sketch as a landing page hero section, build clean React components and plus Tailwind CSS, responsive layout, mobile first, semantic HTML, replace any icons with simple inline SVG placeholders, no external UI libraries, output format, brief layout summary, React component codebook in one block, Tailwind config notes. See whether we get those. So this is the drawing. Learn smarter with AI. So it's a well-structured for an education sketch for an educational platform. The layout follows a classic conversion-focused pattern with clear value proposition. Layout summary. Here is the code and some config notes. And we'll say, please create page for me. So it's done the work and it is constructing the landing page. Let's see what we get. It's creating the text, HTML text. And there we go. Professor.info. It's got courses, blog, about, sign up, learn smarter with AI. There's some placeholders here for some pictures. Get started, watch demo, AI courses, productivity hacks, AI tools and tips, some testimonials. How cool is that? Got a sign up button. And of course, you can just go on and keep iterating until you get the site that you want. You can add in the pictures and it will put the pictures in for you. Very cool. Let's move on. Okay, so it has produced a website showing you how to do that. Let's produce some images. So I've got a prompt here, which is generate a photorealistic hero image for an internal corporate retreat invite. The scene, modern conference room with floor-to-ceiling glass, evening skyline, subtle AI-themed visuals on a screen, abstract no logos, diverse group of professionals in business casual. Constraints 16:9, no readable brand logos, clean corporate look. And I want 4 variations: warm lighting, cool lighting, minimalist, more energetic. So this will be using, I'm going to put create images here. Got a little Santa, got a little snowman at the moment for Nano Banana Pro. So let's see what we get. So as you would expect, it is using Nano Banana Pro to create these images. If you are interested in Nano Banana Pro, have a look at this video up here, and I will put a link, and I'll also make sure the link is down below for this. And all of these prompts I will make available on my website. So, and there'll be a link down below. So if you want to use these prompts to do your own work or to test out your own activities, then please use those. But here we go. We've got a leadership retreat here, 2026, so with AI, people around in a sort of office environment. They're all in a bit office environment, aren't they? Then we've got this one, which is more sort of evening time, a bit more active and a bit more minimalist. Brilliant. I don't know. You might want to play around with those. These are the first effort at that from that prompt. So you might want to change them, but that's what Nano Banana produced. Really, really cool. Let's move on. Okay, so we've seen Nano Banana, and as I say, I've got a video about Nano Banana that you can go and look at if you want real in-depth understanding of how it works and how to prompt it, etc. Go and have a look at that video. But Google also has VO3 and is able to create video clips. So create an 8-second video clip, slow camera pan across a modern conference room set for a retreat workshop with a soft ambient audio, no logos, subtle motion 16:9. See what we get. Generating my video, it'll take 1 to 2 minutes. This is the power of Google. They have gone crazy recently with adding Gemini 3, which is, you know, a world-class model, the engagement of NotebookLM, infographics, Nano Banana Pro, the upgraded Nano Banana for images, VO3 to create videos, etc. Gemini are cooking at the moment, and if I was betting, I would say that Google and Gemini are potentially going to be the winners in the AI race. They're right up there at the minute, doing really well. Okay, well, it didn't take very long at all. So here is the video. Let's have a look at it. 8 seconds. Cool is that? How cool is that? Okay, I'm not going to go into creating gems, but gems are like projects in ChatGPT and like agents in Copilot, but really powerful and very simple to use. So effectively you go along, you can look at the ones that have been pre-made by Google, and there's quite a lot of them there for you to go and look at: Learning Coach, Sentiment Analyzer, and then here are 3 that I produce: Social Promo Generator, Leadership Council, Thumbnail Builder. I use these all the time. So here I can just add in prompt for what I want to produce, and it will produce me a whole load of social promos for LinkedIn and Facebook, etc. Really powerful. If you're interested in how to create gems and how I created these 3 gems, then look at this video here. And also all of the prompts that I used, all of the master prompts I used to create those gems are on my website. You can go and download them. Gems, really powerful. I'm not going to go into them in this video, but if you're interested, look at the video above. Okay, well, that is Gemini. I think Gemini is probably the most effective environment that's available in AI today. And 6 months ago, I wouldn't have said that. 6 months ago, I would have been talking about ChatGPT and what that can do, and it's still absolutely brilliant. Claude has improved enormously, and that's got things in it that you can use to get stuff done. But in terms of the LLM, the quality of the LLM, the quality of the interface, all of the tools like Nano Banana and VO, etc., NotebookLM, all of those coming together, and the integration of those tools now, I think Gemini is out in front, which is really interesting. And it's great because it's creating lots of competition in the AI market. You choose the one that works for you. Right now, I've been using Gemini for the last few weeks every day, and it's really impressed me. So let me know down below what you think. Is Gemini great? Is it fantastic? Am I missing something? Or should we be working with ChatGPT or Copilot? I don't think so, but Copilot, is that the answer for all businesses? Let me know down below what you think. I'm always really pleased to hear from you. If you've enjoyed the video, if you've got some value out of it, please don't forget to give me a like. And if you want to see all my future videos, then give me a subscribe as well. I've been the Professor. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.